name is Miranda, and today I am here to discuss episode 5 of A Court of Fae and Flowers from Dimension 20. So after this, we are at the halfway point officially of this season, and I am really loving it so far. I think with each episode I start to realize more and more about just the dynamic of the show, since it's obviously set and structured in a very different way than the usual combat of a D&D show. So what I really liked that I've noticed, and this episode definitely solidified it for me, is that certain characters get more character-centric episodes than other characters. So for example, you know that I love Lady Chirp and Lord Squawk, but I feel like there have been a couple episodes, including this one, where especially Chirp kind of took a step back, whereas I feel like this episode was definitely about Binks, definitely about Inhera, and similarly you could say like last episode was definitely focused more Rue-wise, and I like that because I feel like one of my things that I've talked about before is that I kind of miss getting like a full party dynamic, since they're usually kind of split and we only really see them together as a group every once in a while. And I like that instead of that, we're trading that for getting like character-driven episodes. So like I said, this one was really about Binks, who we've known about Binks being Binks for a while, but we don't know what the whole thing behind that is. And we still kind of don't, but for the first time they revealed themselves. I almost said they revealed themselves, but that's specifically for Rue. They revealed their true self to Rue, and I really love that what made her feel comfortable in revealing her true self to Rue is seeing Rue's own revealment, and you know how that took a lot of bravery and courage, and how that means that they are not like the other people from the Court of Wonder, and how she feels like that is someone that they can trust now because of that. And I really like that. And the whole thing of the Binks reveal, while we don't know much about Gwendolyn because she's very been cagey on that, I really don't know if she's kidnapped Gwendolyn. It sounds like they were friends, so I feel like they've made some sort of pact. I don't know if that's a warlock pact, since we do know that Binks is a warlock patron, or if it's just kind of like, I'll take my place, and Gwen's like, I'm over this place, like, get me out of here, like, you do you. But we learned that Binks is the last of her court, the Court of Craft, which is a new court that we got introduced to, and more importantly, their magic was stolen, and she believes it was stolen by the Court of Wonder, which could absolutely happen, since there's already been these rumors about the Court of Wonder losing their magic or getting their magic, but it's not really their magic, like they took it from something, or it's an illusion, something like that, which as far as we know, Rue doesn't seem really like knowledgeable about this. I don't know if they're holding another secret that they're gonna like reveal a bomb about or something like that, but Rue genuinely seemed very accepting and understanding. And I mean, being the last of your court, like that's scary. That's scary, and you're putting yourself out there as a potential target of like, I'm the last of my kind. But I really like how Serena played it, in that she said more at the end, revealing Binks was almost like a warning shot of like, you tried to take us down, but like now someone who knows the truth and knows what happened is still here and now has this prestigious position from winning the Crystal Heart, which I will talk about more later. But yeah, the whole thing with Rue and Binks, it was just so wonderfully acted by Oscar and Serena, and I feel like that's the benefit that you don't get when like they were distant, or you know, even if they hadn't been right next to each other, like the way they were able to hold each other's hands and just be there for each other. And Rue, I mean, Rue chronologically is still like, this is the same day that they revealed their true self, so like for them to be dealing with all that and then have someone reveal themselves to them and automatically support and praise and just be so understanding, I think really says a lot to Rue's character and made me fall in love with them even more. And even Binks, I absolutely love. I've talked about before how I feel like Serena has kind of been in the background on a couple episodes, and I feel like this was definitely the episode for Binks to shine, and I'm just so excited to see what the future has in store for them, because I feel like they were just getting to peel back the layers of Binks, right? We're getting rid of the Gwendolyn aspect of it and finding out what they really talk like, what their personalities really like. And based on the preview for next week, it looks like them and Inhera are going to have a lot in common babble-wise, which I am so excited for, because another addition that we got to the potential romance of this all is an Inhera and Binks romance, which I think would be really cute. Listen, when Omar described Inhera like sliding the crystal heart into Binks's hand and then was like, I do like the Darcy, like my hand flexes, like instinctively of like, you know, I want to hold their, like, you know, I was like, you get it, and everyone was like, oh yeah, like Inhera this whole episode, I love my baby pillar boy, you understand this, you know this, we all love him, but seeing my baby pillar boy be so dominant this episode was just so amazing. I've been saying for a while that I want to see his sister because they're always talking about how his sister's here and like she's the one that like everyone's expecting to do good, and in Hera they're just kind of like, please don't mess things up. Whereas I feel like we haven't seen him interact with his sister, which was really interesting to me because obviously that's a very important dynamic and relationship in terms of who Inhera is. So when they first mentioned her in the Hedgehogs, I was like, please let me see them interact, please. And the interaction could not have been better, honestly, in my opinion. I just love that there's kind of this whole thing of she's the one that everyone respects and trusts and expects to uphold the court, whereas he's the kind of mess up, you know. He did say that, like, his mother, like, is never, like, impressed with him, but, like, I feel like from episode 1, like, the interaction we had was kind of, like, it did seem like she had affection for him. Like, she wasn't, like, completely, like, you're gonna mess this up. So I'd be interested to explore more of that. But I just love the whole thing of how he was giving her the horse and, you know, was, like, this offering of, like, you know, if you win and then Mom finds out I assisted you, like, we both win and we both get something positive in that case. And the sister was so untrusting of it, but then did it and shouldn't have trusted him because, oh my gosh, definitely the hottest moment of this episode was him being like, get fucked, sister, and sending the horse in the opposite direction. I was shocked. I mean, that coupled with also Binks taking the key back from Rue that they gave them and being like, yeah, this is a cursed key. I'm so sorry about that. And like stomping it was, they're a power couple. All right. And I really, really hope that we get some kind of interaction with them next episode, since Binks does know that Inhera was the one to give them the crystal heart. And I just love the way Abria described it, of being like, you feel and you smell this oncoming storm and this dark night. And I feel like it's very interesting how both Inhera and Binks were in their elements in this episode in the maze, because of Inhera specifically being in like dark, lost places, you know, that like not a lot of people go to, and Binks being someone who operates in, they said, liminal spaces, lost things. Like, I just like how for each of them, it was really like, this is our element, and it was only through the combined power of them, of Inhera casting darkness and Binks being so good at locating lost things, that this thing was able to happen, right? Because Abria said, like, I love when the dice tell a story, which I absolutely agree, in giving Inhera the nat 20 and him being the one to find the crystal heart, but then he said, wait, hold on a minute, not gonna happen, and gave it to Binks, which I just think, like, he is genuinely, like, Inherit is, I loved him from the start, but, like, every episode, a new part of his personality emerges, and I love them even more for it. Like, I just feel like from the start with the Hedge Mage, they were so about, it's about who's worthy. Like, I'm not gonna compete to, you know, screw someone over, except his sister, and, you know, like, really, like, he was never gonna take it. He was more interested in that maze giving it to who the maze felt deserved it, and at the end of the day, the maze gave Inhera that choice to be like, we think you're worthy of it, and Inhera being Inhera was like, I'm gonna give it to someone who I know needs it, and this is Binks. I too love the fact, like, you know, my little tropey heart loves the fact that he saw Binks and could clock them immediately by them having the same eyes. I was like, it's just so cute, because remember, they did team up also for the heart hunt, and I was always interested in that because, like, they teamed up and then Inhera kind of teamed up with Chirp, and I was always wondering if, like, Binks as Gwen was going to get mad that, like, they kind of got cut out of that deal, but it was never really addressed. And I feel like now that's way behind us, and I just can't wait to see if this is addressed in some shape or form, because I think Binks and Inhera, yeah, could be a really, really cute couple. And, like, speaking of couples, we gotta talk about Rue and Hob, right? They didn't have a ton of interactions this episode, but it has definitely been established that they care for each other so much, and Hob now has the idea of, not that they greatly were offended by Hob, and, like, that's why they sent Lovey to duel them, but Hob now thinks that, you know, Rue just had a lot of stuff going on, and, like, Hob was so inconsequential to them that, like, it was selfish of Hob to think that, like, any part of Hob had an effect on Rue, who was already going through so much stuff, which just absolutely broke my heart. And the whole scene, I mean, Brennan just is beautiful about describing things. And the whole scene of when the maze opens up to him and is trying to lead him to the smell of peonies and where Rue is, and Hob instinctually starts to follow that, like before he's even realizing what he's doing, and then he takes a step back and turns the other way, and in that moment knows he's a coward, was what Brennan said. I just feel like miscommunication trope is such a Regency trope, right? And it just works perfectly with them. So I can't wait till they actually talk and interact. And if more of the players, like Binks was kind of, start trying to get involved in like setting them up and parent trapping them, I think will be so, so fun. But yeah, I just loved this episode. I love that we get like character driven episodes. And I'm so excited to unravel more of this Binks mystery and that she now has Rue as an ally. And Inhera, I don't know what they'll do with that, knowing that Inhera was the one who gave them the heart, but like that whole moment was just absolutely beautiful. Like I am so in love with it, and I'm so in love with every way and everyone in this cast and how they're playing and really leaning into this Regency thing. I think it's just so great and so wonderful, and I cannot wait to see what happens in the next episode. So yeah, if you have seen this episode, please feel free to leave your thoughts and your theories about everything that happened and what's gonna happen down below in the comments. Also make sure this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time for episode 6. Bye!